Welcome to the City of the Unwritten. A city that's given so much. A city of people who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. A city of makers, entrepreneurs, musicians, artists. A city of laughter, memories, and people who welcome others in with a cup of heartwarming handmade coffee. A city of people, young and old, working together. People who explore, live, and grow together. But what makes this place special? Being listed year after year as one of the best places to raise a family. Maybe because we have a community recognized for its safe neighborhoods and revered for its low unemployment. A city where adventure is everywhere you look, where you can pioneer your own story. We've opened a new page to write on for the generations ahead. Welcome to Bismarck. Come write your story.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mary Kempenick, and I do workforce development at the Bismarck, Mandan Chamber EDC, but more importantly, I am your MC today. All right. Obviously, 1 Million Cups doesn't happen without our sponsors, and I believe we have 2 whole slides of them now, which is great news because that means we can keep buying coffee. So say thanks to these people and to these people. Thank them for the coffee, the lights, and the phenomenal presentations that we get to put on for you every week. And most importantly, our newest sponsor is also our presenter today, Cappuccino on Collins, and you are drinking their coffee today. So a round of applause for some fantastic coffee. No offense to Janya, but it's probably better to let the professionals take over. All right, and today is National Get Funky Day. I will not be getting funky, but I bet Joe Camisa will be. So if you are watching online, keep streaming. It's going to get good. It is also National Do Something Nice Day, so tell me I did a good job. Do something nice. All right, is anyone in the audience new? Ooh, yeah, 2 hands. So this is for you. This is not for anyone else. If you're here, you should know that 1 Million Cups is a free weekly program that gives local businesses and community builders an opportunity to share their ideas, engage with their community, get advice, get feedback, and also just talk about their story and what brought them to this point in their life, not onto the stage. Maybe both. And we're doing this because we believe that we can change the face of our startup community by connecting local entrepreneurs, community builders all over 1 Million Cups of coffee. I don't know if we're counting, Janya, but we're close, right? We gotta be close. And please remember that at the very end, we do have time for Q&A. So think of those questions so that I don't have to talk to Joe and Trish because we do that all the time anyway. So they would love input from other people. And if you are watching on Facebook, please remember that we can answer your questions. Someone in the audience can read them out loud, or if you're in the audience and you don't want to take the big orange mug, ask your question on the Facebook stream and somebody else will ask it out loud for you. And I do believe we have some community announcements. Is someone here for this one? Perfect. You.
Okay, I mentioned this one last time, but Lotus Midwest Creative is doing a summit on the topic of marketing. And I know that this is a common area where a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle. It's a common question that entrepreneurs on stage get asked. So that is coming up on Tuesday, October 18th. It's a relatively short period of time, so not a huge time commitment, and it's over lunch. So, you know, that's always good. I think with my stomach, so that connects with me. But anyway, if you'd like to check it out, lotusmidwest.com/events. And then I see Ellen is here, I think, for the next one. Yes. Turn over the mic.
Happy Hump Day. Mandan is holding its 10th annual Business Startup 101 workshop on Thursday, October 20th. It'll be on the top floor of First Community Credit Union, which if you haven't had a chance to check out that space, it's a great space available for various types of community happenings. And I think we have a fantastic lineup of speakers, including our own Tyler, that will be providing a lot of insights and advice for anyone who's even pondering the start of a business. And we know these things sometimes take a while to make that leap from a day job or from a side hustle to more of a full-time gig. And then we'll be getting some great tips and advice from those who are operating a variety of types of businesses in our local area. So we hope to see you there. It's all free, and we'll have some snacks to keep you going during that time, and hope to see you there. You can sign up at cityofmandan.com/register.
If there are snacks, you'll be there, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Is this a slide?
No. Oh, we're gonna do that one. Yeah. You do that one, and then I've got one more. You do that.
Cool. Well, I know last week you mentioned this event, and I am a part of this event, so I wanted to promote it again. This is tomorrow, okay? So Props and Hops. It's the 6th annual. It's the first time I've been a part of it, but happens out in a hangar at the Mandan Airstrip. And so I'll be playing with my brother some jazz music during the evening. Tickets are available on Eventbrite or at the door. I think it's $35 or $40. But you get ribs, you get beer, you get to feel like a cool pilot, even if you're not, because there will be planes, and they're raising money for some local air activity. I don't know what it is. So, but come out for a nice evening, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. If you come from 1 Million Cups, please come up to me in between tunes and say, hey, would love to shake your hand and maybe even take a request.
And now, Janya. Okay, yep, okay, so you're safe.
Thank you for doing that slide, though, Joel. I meant to do that, and I boogered that up, so thank you for doing that slide. That is awesome. Oh, last thing. So in celebration of Do Something Nice Day, do something nice for me, and please take home some of the gourds and zucchini and pumpkins that you saw out in the lobby, because remember I told you, yeah, that's about a third of what we have, and you can only, oh, thank you, Joel. Oh, guys, you're the best. Oh, he's got it in his front pocket. Yeah, so please give a gourd a good home. Okay, thank you.
And they are not edible, at least as far as we know. They're only edible once. All right, so we are going to get started with the main event. We are going to welcome Joe and Trish Camisa to the stage, owners of Cappuccino on Collins. So a warm round of applause.
Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Yay.
I'll stand over here.
Also exciting things happening tomorrow. It's Joe's birthday tomorrow.
2 more years and hit 40.
Woohoo.
Get to be in a protected class. All right.
Okay. I'm Trish Camisa. This is my husband, Joe Camisa, and we are the new owners of Cappuccino on Collins. We took over ownership in 2022, this year, in January. And it was actually Mandan's original coffee shop, according to Bob Porter, who is Mandan's resident historian and the man who comes to my shop every single morning.
Bob is the cornerstone of the shop.
If he doesn't come to the shop, I call him to see if he's okay. It was started by Sherry Jo Arith and then taken over by her sister-in-law, Tara, then was taken over by Dot Frank, and then we bought it from Dot Frank. So I have all the words because I have ADHD, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, because then we'll just end up talking about like mushrooms or something. So it's been 9 months since my lovely husband Joe and I decided my crazy idea to buy a coffee shop wasn't such a crazy idea. I have always been a creative from the first memories as a child through my life, and I love music, art, crafting, and I'm also a writer. Many know that creatives often have to be pulled back to reality. And I was 100% expecting Joe to do that when I said, hey, we should go look at this coffee shop.
Well, this was one of the ideas that you threw out there that had the possibility of generating revenue. So usually when I got text messages, or she'll go on to the Bizman Realty website to look at new listings, it's usually something that costs like a couple $100,000 with no possibility of there being a return of income.
A little bigger house, that's all. Okay. When he didn't, I thought I had a case of body snatchers on my hands, because that's not my husband. He's the level-headed, analytical thinker that often tells me to wait, slow down, think this through.
Breathe.
Breathe. But I want to go back to kind of the beginning of my adult work life, since it kind of sets a stage. So, I graduated from Mandan High School in 2006, barely, and then took a semester off from school to work. My plan was to go to BSc and be a vocal music major, and eventually become a music teacher. Now, a little background, I was never good at traditional school. I wasn't diagnosed with my dyslexia until after high school. And then I wasn't diagnosed with my ADHD until this year. So imagine my disappointment when I was failing all of my classes except for my music classes. And then I got mono and was out for 2 weeks, and then was failing all of my music classes as well. So in the fall of 2009, I decided it would be a really great idea to go back to school again. This time I enrolled at Dickinson State University as a writing major, and once again, my mental health was suffering. I failed out and returned back home to Mandan. I then just worked, mostly working in fields taking care of other people, like people with disabilities, working in various daycare centers, and the odd part-time job at retail. So I had a really good customer service base. I met Joe, we got married, I got pregnant a year later. We suffered the loss of our son Thomas when I was 19 weeks, 5 days gestation. And I am no stranger to adversity and hard things, but that almost completely broke me. Then I had become a nanny for twins, who I absolutely love. And I got to help raise and watch them grow for nearly 4 years. And in that last year, we got placement with our son Joey, with adoption.
That was the handsome little guy you saw in the first
in the
first
previous
slide.
one. Yeah. He's bigger now and much more mobile.
He's the CEO.
He is. He owns the coffee shop, and when you see him come in, you can tell.
He's yelling hi and goodbye to everybody
Yeah.
as they come in.
I promise this is going somewhere, to the whole coffee shop thing. Then in, let's see here, July of 2021, Joe suggested I go back to school again for administrative assistance. This would hopefully lead to a job with maybe the state would provide us with much needed paid family health insurance for our family. And as you can imagine, I said yes, and I was pretty confident. I mean, women stay at home with their 1-year-olds and go to school all the time, right? And are successful. So, and I'd done harder things, as aforementioned. I mean, so why not?
And I figured I was going to be around, I could help and
Right.
provide
I mean,
that support
the man's a
as much as I
professional
could.
student, so.
10 years and don't have a doctor in front of my name.
I couldn't have been further from reality at that point. And Joe, in November, had accepted his position at BSc with the Train and D program, and we now had paid family health insurance. I was failing all but one class, which coincidentally was my intro to business class with Kevin Kavanaugh, the owner of Bear Scat. I was overwhelmed trying to be a mother on little sleep and trying to do school at the same time. Enter me avoiding schoolwork, during Joey's nap time. And I was on Bizman Realty looking for commercial space for my sister. She owns Bridal Butler, and she does decorating and event planning for everything. I mean, not just weddings. And she was looking for inventory space for her stuff. Like, I don't even know what else to call it because it's just a lot of stuff. And between the shop condos and all the other listings, suddenly my heart sank and simultaneously leapt because my hometown's original coffee shop was for sale again. I had gone to this shop in high school and experienced my first frap. I had visited many a friend who worked in this tiny shop from high school all the way through adulthood. And I took a screenshot and sent it to Joe and said, I'm about 50% serious. We should go look at this.
Yeah, literally.
And then when he texts back, he's like, yeah, I think we should. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
Who are you?
Looking at the text message, I'm like, what the heck is she sending me now? All right, another list. Oh, coffee shop. I know where that is. Let's take a look at it. I said the worst thing we can look at it and say no.
Yeah.
You know, let's take a look at it. Let's see what the finances look like, you know, and go from there.
Yeah.
Dot and I work together at BSC. She does a lot of the trainings that I facilitate and get put together with clients. And she never mentioned to me once that she was selling her coffee shop.
Yeah.
So it was
I
a
like,
surprise.
Did you know Dot was selling this? He's like, no. Okay, so we met with Dot, and like Joe said, went over the financials, saw that it was profitable, and then we bought a coffee shop. I was terrified and excited at the same time. I spoke with friends who own businesses, and they encouraged me to do it, and both do not do it. And I'm sure every business owner has become a bit jaded since COVID, so I don't blame them. So here we are, 9 months in, and despite the small arguments Joe and I have, despite competition with both big companies, coffee companies, and small, I am happy. There's literally no place I would rather be. Being happy in your everyday life and being content says way more about any big, huge life events that you have throughout your life. Today, I'm here to tell you we need to shift our focus. We need to be telling high school students that guess what? You don't have to have a 4-year college degree to be successful. And I'm talking to probably half the audience who has 4-year or more college degrees.
Master's degrees.
Yeah. And might it help? Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, education is absolutely important, but some of us are just better at learning in a hands-on environment instead of sitting in a classroom, and we need more of that. If I had been given the idea by a high school counselor that one day I would own my own business and be my own boss and be drinking coffee all day and still get to be creative every single day, maybe I would have not had to go through the trauma that I did with trying college and failing 3 different times, and then having debt that there was no degree to show for. We've been doing exciting things at Cappuccino on Collins. Not everybody is cut out for college, and I'm one of those people. So this is something that I wanted to share.
Point.
Yeah, I know, I'm pointing to the screen
Looks
to
like you're
show them
Looks
the
like you were
picture.
clicking.
No, I was not clicking.
It's a weekly thing. People try to figure out where to point. This is what makes our business relationship excellent.
So here's my ADHD brain. The top is what you're seeing right now is me talking fast and being creative. The bottom part is everything that I'm actually good at. And this is something that a lot of people don't realize. And my generation, millennials, were never, especially women, were never diagnosed with ADHD because we weren't bouncing off the walls like our male counterpoints. We exhibit ADHD differently. And so when I was told that daydreaming was bad, but I was coming up with all of these awesome ideas and had no outlet, there was nobody there to help. So that's something else we need to learn. So we have created, I think, a really good community at our shop. We have done numerous events, monthly,
Yep.
since we
About
started.
once a month.
Yeah. We introduced coffee flights, which are really awesome. You get to pick what you want. So you can do 4 lattes, you can do 4 fraps, you can do 2 lattes, 2 fraps, you can do 4 different roasts of coffee.
And it's an idea that's kind of picked up in Mandan.
Yes. We paired with Thomas Moriarty's Black Lions and Dialectic Brewing and said, well, hey, you can start with us and get hyped up and then just walk west on Main Street. Thomas and Moriarty's has cookie flights, which is really awesome. And then Black Lions and Dialectic obviously has beer flights. So,
Sober up
what else?
before you start hitting the alcoholic establishments.
yeah. But then at Thomas Moriarty's, they can get food, so it kind of soaks. Okay. Anyway, we started bagging up our used coffee grounds. They're really good for your garden soil, makes your lettuce super crisp, adds magnesium and phosphorus to your soil, and is great for your veggies. We sold Marlowe's calendars in the shop for a while, and I get awesome ideas from him. Like, he's probably given me at least $2,000 worth of marketing ideas in 9 months, and I haven't paid him yet.
Marlo is part of our morning crew.
Yeah,
So we have
yeah.
a crew of guys who come in every morning. We mentioned Bob earlier, and most times he's there about 5 or 10 minutes before we're even opening the shop. So he's literally the one on the doorstep. But they come in, they have great camaraderie. They've been doing this for, I don't know, I think Marlo's in the audience. How long have you guys been doing this now?
He's the newest
I know
one.
you're the new guy, but
They make fun of him because they
probably
tell him to
about
go.
10 years they've been doing this, or 20 years,
longer.
than that.
Yeah.
So they've been coming in there and just in the shop in the morning, and almost literally every morning, even on some weekends. It's a great sense of community.
They solve world's problems, and then they go on their way around 9 o'clock.
We were trying to solve the issue of Mandan special assessments this morning, so that was on the topic of discussion.
Oh, that's what happens when Joe has to go to the shop and brew the coffee. We did a paint a planter event where people got a clay terracotta pot and they got to paint it however they wanted, and they got a 16-ounce drink with their ticket and just hung out and was creative and had fun with their friends. And then this last Sunday is probably my favorite event we've done so far. We did a coffee tasting, and we had Travis from Coal Country Coffee come and talk about his roasting process, where he gets his beans from. And then we also had Rachel Iverson, who is a sports dietitian working on her PhD, talk to us about the health benefits of coffee. There are benefits of coffee.
You're all being healthy right now.
It's okay to drink coffee, all the coffee you want. Just saying. And then, for Teacher Appreciation Week, I was invited to Mary Stark Elementary in Mandan to come and make specialty lattes of their choice. The principal invited me, and that was really fun. So that's me and the superintendent of Mandan Schools. He had stopped in too to hang out. There's a picture of our flights. We have a little free library in the shop. You can bring in your books that you've already read, swap them out for the books that are in the shelf. And let's see here. We were open a few evenings during the summer on Fridays. We did a clothing pop-up shop with a Mandan retail shop. And she sold her clothes. And then just recently we did Unconventional Cookie Company, which if you haven't had their cookies, they're amazing. And she makes them beautifully. They're really cool. We got a fossil digging kit cookie thing for Joey and I to do. It's going to be so fun. I think we're going to do that today. And then we also implemented Local Artist of the Month because there are so many artists in our community. We have, 2, maybe 3 regular galleries that the public can visit, and none in Mandan. So I don't have to decorate that wall. All of the artists do it, and it's been fantastic. The art pictured in this photo is Nicole Gagner's. And
it's always something new.
Every month it changes.
We have it provides us the ability to change up the decor in the shop on a monthly basis. So there's always something new for people to come in and see.
Yep.
And we're always looking for ways that we can provide support to smaller entrepreneurs, startup businesses. There are some craft makers that have gone into a side gig.
Yep.
And we try to find ways that, maybe we can, put their items in our shop, or just to get them a little bit more recognition with those that are coming and going from the coffee shop.
Yeah, my mom actually was one of the July artists of the month. She created this gorgeous quilt and then said, hey, give it away to a veteran. So we had a drawing, and one of the morning coffee crew, the other Bob, won it. He's a veteran from Vietnam, I believe.
Yeah, I think
Marlo could maybe correct me on that. I don't remember.
I think Bob's a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, so he won the quilt, and then he said that even though he won it for free, it's been costing him money because his wife wanted to hang it, so they had to buy like this hanger for it. And I was like, I'm sorry, at least
you
got a quilt. Next slide. This is all Joe.
So one of the things that Trish is really good at is marketing. I had a conversation with my daytime job client, happened to say, hey, how's the coffee shop going? And I said, it's going pretty good. There's always room to grow and get a bigger footprint and things like that. And he goes, I just want to say that Trish is doing an outstanding job with social media marketing. So that's why I wanted to show a little bit of what we're doing. And Trish is the guru behind all this. We're on standard Facebook. We branched out into LinkedIn. We're trying to stay up with that. That's a little bit of a challenge, but that's a way for us to not only tap into the everyday folks that come into our coffee shop, but try to stay connected as well with the business community. We branched out into Instagram as well. The username is at Cappuccino on Collins Mandan if you're on Instagram. And then we started working with other businesses. So Trish had a relationship with trying to get some media going. We were kind of a guinea pig for them.
So Stacey Sturm approached me with URL Radio, and she had said, hey, I really love all the things you've been doing for our community, and I have an intern who needs to practice making these videos. And so that's what we created. We created 4 different short videos. Maybe once I talk to my high school employee about TikTok, I'll figure it out and get it up on there.
Back in my day, you needed to have a college email to use Facebook. So I don't understand Instagram. I don't understand TikTok. I could run all day long with LinkedIn. I use that primarily for my daytime work with BSC and Facebook, although Facebook kind of drives me up a wall compared to LinkedIn. But Trish has done such a great job, and I wanted to throw in one of those short videos.
Play it?
It's about a
Hey guys, it's Trish from Cappuccino on Collins. Let's do a little tour of the coffee shop. The grinder is always a topic of conversation. It is very old. I would assume maybe the 1950s, and it still works. We use it all the time to grind our coffee for the drip coffee, and then also for espresso when we have to do different mobile orders. Our Artist of the Month kind of came about because I have a lot of friends in town who are artists, and they weren't able to get their art out for other people to see. There's only 2 galleries, I believe, in Bismarck that are really active about getting artists shown throughout the community, and so I thought this would be a really awesome free way to expose all of our customers to different types of art. The bikes were here when we bought the shop, so the previous owner had put them up there. I joked this summer that I was going to take the trike down from above the door and ride it up and down Main Street on 4th of July, and then I just didn't. Just thought it'd be really fun. I just got to find someone tall enough to help me get it down. The bookshelf over in the corner, like as you're leaving, is a little free library. So people can bring their books that they've already read in and switch them out for books that are there, or just leave them and drop them off, or pick whatever books you want and take them home with you.
Trish has done a great job with these videos and working with partners in the community to not only grow and get our name out there with branding, but also to work with other businesses in the Mandan community. We are very big supporters of other businesses. We had mentioned a few. I don't think there's ever a time that we can talk about our coffee shop without talking about other Mandan businesses, because we've developed such a great relationship. We're working on what does the future hold? The future holds a lot of challenges. As I threw a few up on this slide, because I know that we always like to talk about, at A Million Cups, what's your growth plan? what are the challenges you're facing at this moment in time? And so as you can imagine, some of these are probably not too far off from maybe what you're feeling. You know, we're looking at we're in a small footprint. We have a shop that's 700 square feet. And a lot of that, being a former bank, is a walk-in safe. And so we actually keep all of our inventory, and we keep any operating day-to-day supplies in that, and that takes up a lot of room. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of counter space. We have just enough counter space to run our coffee equipment, and maybe have a microwave and some other little things to make some of the other products that we sell. But we really could use somehow, some way, an expansion of space. We don't know what that's going to look like. We've got some ideas, but it's all going to depend on fate and destiny and how that's all going to work out, that we just can't predict right now. So, there's always, what can we do more? What can we serve in addition to the coffee and the pastries that we already do? And so footprint is going to be something we need to work on going forward, so that we have more room to do additional products. The other big thing that we're all facing is, a lot of the economic conditions that are going on. We have rampant inflation. We have supply chain issues. Just like any other service business that requires supply. We've had disruptions with food supply from U.S. foods. We've had issues with. There must have been
cups and lids. If I could just get cups and lids ordered at the same time.
We're out of sleeves, by the way.
They're coming. So that's another thing. It's just trying to get deliveries on time and match at the same time.
It's so difficult trying to get supply, and when we do get supply, the cost has gone up 3 or 4 times. Coffee is not the largest margin item. You probably say, well, I'm paying $5, $6 for a cup of coffee. How can there not be margin? Well, the sleeves, the cups, the lids cost probably 40 cents now, 50 cents per cup.
So
and that used to be about 20 cents.
Right. So when you come into the shop, bring your own cup, because we give you 50 cents off of your whatever drink you want, because it saves us money, it saves you money, and then
Saves our landfill.
it saves our landfill. I don't have to carry as heavy a trash bags out to the dumpster. So yeah, bring your own cup. And pretty much every local coffee shop in town, I think, is pretty much behind that, because they would rather use your cup, even if it's kind of gross. I'll rinse it out for you. I don't care. I don't judge. Mine is gross too.
And we're very happy to be in Mandan. We love Mandan. The business community in Mandan is very tight knit. There have been times where we've had supply issues, and we were able to call up Balancing Goat and say, hey,
Karen was awesome.
Can we buy some lids off you? Because our cups are fairly similar between our shops, and they have been very good to us.
And then she just said, here, have 2 sleeves. Welcome to the neighborhood. So it's the sense of community in Mandan is very tight knit and awesome.
So the other challenges that we face, limited staffing. That's the same problem. I've talked to numerous Bismarck, restaurant owners, and they're working as the owner double shifts multiple times a week because they're having issues. We're comfortable with staffing right now, but it's going to be a challenge if we want to grow. Are we going to be able to find another part-time person? Are we going to have somebody who's reliable? Because the one thing that you can't do when running a shop is not have consistent hours.
Right.
People want their coffee in the morning. So, that's a challenge that weighs on our mind. And I threw up bureaucratic reporting because the state of North Dakota loves red tape. And so a part of, running any business, you got to pay the IRS. You got to pay the tax commissioner. You got to make sure your sales taxes are submitted and make sure you're sending them to the right jurisdictions. WSI wants money. Job Service wants money. And then you got to report everything individually through separate systems. So there's a lot of challenges, a lot of learning curves.
Because none of it's linked.
And none of it's all linked together. And yeah, you have a common username for their website, but you have to go into each system and report your payroll. So if we grow, right now, I do all of that. I joke that I'm the chief HR officer, I'm the chief financial officer, and I'm the one that tries to make sure the state's happy and the IRS is happy so that we can run our business. But as somebody who has already got 4 other hats on, that, if we want to grow, we're going to have to look at maybe some other alternatives to how we handle our payroll and
Right.
things like that. I like doing this type of work, and that's my contribution to the shop.
I get to
That's-
do the fun stuff.
That's about where we're at. We wanna grow. We're kind of looking for that right opportunity as it comes. But I think at this point we can transition into the
Question,
Q&A
sorry.
if there's anything that Trish might want to add.
Ta-da.
Awesome, incredible presentation.
Thank you.
So we will take a seat. I know that with that cappuccino on Collins coffee in your system, you've been thinking of lots of exciting questions.
Hopefully everybody likes the coffee.
Does it taste okay?
Good?
I didn't see anyone storming out.
Yay!
Awesome. And Ross is our mic runner, so the tall guy with the big cup. As we get started, I would just like to ask, what is your favorite thing about owning the coffee shop? Because you both mentioned so many really great things, but what is that one thing that maybe you didn't even expect, that you could not have anticipated, that you just love about owning Cappuccino on Collins?
For me, I guess it's kind of cliche, but the customers. I have learned so much in the last 9 months about different people and different things, about our community, about how to do things smarter, how to do marketing, how to do all kinds of things. And so I think my customers are not only our revenue, but they're my greatest asset right now.
I would say mine is the partner I get to work with. Is I don't get to be in the shop as much as Trish is. A lot of the morning guys this morning are like, "Why are you here?" I'm like,
So Trish
What-
likes other people and you like Trish.
I like Trish. Well, one of the Bobs goes, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Bob, I'm making coffee." And he looked at me and he goes, "I should have expected that answer from you." I said, "No, I'm making coffee for 1,000,000 cups and getting it ready this morning." But
So if it's bad, blame
it's,
you.
it's me. It's all my
Okay.
fault.
If
All
it
right.
doesn't taste good, it's Joe's
It's
fault,
all
not
my
mine.
fault. But seeing how well Trish had integrated into the role and taking on a good portion of this. I mean, all the day-to-day operation is Trish. All of the creative ideas is all her. I jokingly said, I want to be up on stage as, the co-owner and provide what I can provide, but it's really going to be the Trish show. So I had to make sure that, her head didn't go 3 times its original size. Love you.
Well, after that speech, I think she's going to be feeling pretty good. Yeah.
She just seeing how well she's integrated and done such a great job with the shop.
Awesome answer.
Husband. voice.
Smart answer. Joel has a question.
Okay. Good morning.
Wanted to say that I think your presenting is unique because typically we have new companies who are starting with, they have to
Nothing.
bring all the recognition. They don't have, they have a brand new name. So what is it like joining this legacy, I guess, if you will, and building onto the name that's already established in the community?
It's a challenge, I won't lie, because it has been such a staple in the community. But my coffee guys in the morning accepted me into their tribe, and so I have now become one of them, I think.
And you're a coffee guy?
Yeah. So really their acceptance was the only one that I cared about because they're the ones who are there every day, and I just love them. And so I think that was the hardest part for me. And then trying to remember names. I will remember your coffee order till the day I die, but I will not remember your
We'll get
name.
some people that come into the shop and say, "I haven't been in here in about 1.5 years." Well, hi, we're new. So it's nice seeing those folks that have had a connection to the shop come in and being able to grow a relationship with them. We've met people over the last 9-10 months that used to do things in the shop, and I said, "Well, let's come up with an idea. How can we bring you back into the shop? How can we take what the regulars are used to and grow on it?" We do a lot of carry-out business, but we're very flexible with seating and having. You want to come in and play cards? Come in and play cards.
Yeah.
We want people. We want to not only have the appearance of being full, but we want to promote that community, and I think that goes hand in hand. I think one of the reasons as the level-headed person when it comes to finances that I was willing to take this venture was because it was an established brand. You know, we didn't have to go through all those steps because there was just no way with all my hats that I could work with Trish, and that's a lot of work for one person.
Right.
And so having that established brand was important, and being able to right out off the bat pay for payroll and make sure that we could support our staff was very important. So yeah, having that legacy, it's nice to be part of the community and to grow on it, but it was also a nice sense of stability.
Awesome. We have another question.
Good morning. So question for you. I love the idea about bringing your own mug. I've never heard that before. I think it's brilliant. I think that would be an awesome marketing idea for you because it's unique, and I love that. Second of all, I have a solution for you with the, what do you call them, the slip things that you put on your coffee mug?
Oh, the sleeve.
Yes, the sleeve. I have a solution for you. I like to sew, and so I actually have one in my purse. It's made out of like an old flannel shirt.
Oh,
and it's got a
awesome.
cool button on it, and you use a ponytail. It's super easy to make.
Oh, cool.
But those are like really cool things that you could maybe something unique you could do for your shop.
Right.
And then I'll show it to you after we're done here. At the end of the
Solving all your problems, 1 million cups.
Sounds good to me.
and then also, what are your hours?
So we're open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then Sundays we're open 9 to, I said, no, sorry.
Sundays 9 to 2.
Yeah, Sundays 9 to 2. Monday through Saturday, 7 to 3.
We're one of the few shops that will be open on Sunday. There's only a handful, and we do get a good sense of Sunday traffic. And we, throughout the whole economic plight that we're all facing, and especially with how much supply chain costs have gone up, we've tried to be very moderate with pricing. You know, some will say you probably can charge more, but we haven't. You know, we've increased maybe a quarter here or there on some drink prices, and that's mainly to follow dairy prices. We want to try to be that place where families can come in on a Sunday. You can bring a mom, dad, and your 2 kids, unless your Mike can have a whole van full of kids, and not have to walk out paying $100.
Right.
You know, you get some pastries, get some things for the kids, some coffee to caffeinate yourself, and just have a good time. There's a place for kids to play. We got toys,
Yep.
and in the summertime we have an alleyway patio open where kids can go out and color. So we are very much a family-friendly place. It's not unusual to hear kids screaming in the background.
Yeah.
Mainly ours, but
Mostly ours. Yeah.
Evan.
First of all, thanks for joining Million Cups in terms of your sponsorship, and we're really excited about that. Joe, you've been a great...
Can we just do a round of applause quickly for that? Because you guys are serious about supporting community. Obviously,
absolutely.
because we're all drinking coffee because they support community.
And we really appreciate it. My question, you mentioned growth a couple of times, and I know you're not quite sure what that looks like. Are you thinking increasing the size of existing facility, or are you thinking about adding another location? What are your thoughts there?
So in my dream world, if the space next to us ever became available, it would be the perfect spot to redo everything. So I don't know if any of you have been in the physical shop, but next to us faces, the side of it goes to the alleyway. So if, we could convince a city commissioner to maybe
I got a no
get an
comment from the city planner.
ordinance to redo the way you drive in the alleyway, we could possibly have a drive-through because there's a boarded up window in that space. And so that would open up a ton of business for us. We'd be able to add more staff. We'd be able to do drive-through. Right now, we can do carry-out. I mean, if you call the shop and tell me your order, I can punch it into the computer and run out to the front door for you. It's not a huge deal. But sometimes there isn't spots right in front of the shop either. So yeah, so it'd be like maybe expanding where we're at.
So I would say if we were able to obtain the storefront next to us at some point in the future, the big opportunity there, in addition to a drive-through, would be extra space, extra square footage. We would probably double approximate square footage that we would have. We would have at least 1,000, maybe 1,500 square feet. We can take the seating that's in the current shop, move it into maybe that side, or even take our food operations, coffee operations, and move into that side as well if there was a drive-through. But that would allow us more counter space. We could,
More lunch
we have
options.
we have a large turbo cook oven. If you ever been in Shields in their cafeteria and you order something hot, they have these 2-minute or sometimes even 45-second turbo ovens. We have one. We just don't have a place to keep it. I was joking, let's find a place to put it, and she's like, what are you going to do, suspend it from the ceiling? I said, I'm open to that. We have very high
I need
ceilings.
like a library ladder in order to get.
We could have a dumbwaiter, and when we need it, we just drop it down. But we would have more room to be able to prep, even grab-and-go sandwiches or things like that. More room for cooler space. I'd love to have some ice cream, maybe one of those half freezer chests. So that's a possibility. I think
I'd love to have nitro cold brew on tap.
that would be something that would offer something that is fairly in demand too for coffee, is that the nitro brew. If there an opportunity ever arose for another location, that we would not be opposed to that. If we were to do that, it would need to be in Mandan. Somehow we, whether it's a small little satellite location or something to that effect, we would want to stay in Mandan to do that.
We did not acquire the trailer in the sale of the shop, so we don't have that ability. I mean, I have a machine, and if there's a kitchen and water source, I can go. But yeah, we don't have the trailer.
Our house is about the size of our coffee shop, and so there was just no logical place for us to acquire the mobile trailer
and then store it.
What would you call a different shop? Because you're Cappuccino on Collins. Because
Cappuccino
you're on Collins.
off Collins.
Off. Whoa! You thought about
That's why she's the creative marketing person.
I like that. What a good answer. We have another question.
Yeah, I got a few, well, a couple. So great job, you two, because
you.
being a Mandan kid, Cappuccino on Collins opened when I was in high school. So congratulations, and thank you for keeping this going.
Yeah.
I know it's been a little hairy over the course of all those years, because I graduated a long time ago. But it always kept rolling, and so the energy you guys have brought to that space is really, really exciting. So one thing, when you're talking about the drive up, have you ever considered just using it as if you get that space, instead of a drive up, just a walk up window?
That would be a possibility too.
Because
we
you
could
take-
easily do from the front, you could do a walk up window from Collins and then also do a drive through if you wanted. But
There's a lot of great things happening in Mandan. I'm just going to swap hats for a moment.
Can you maybe let everyone know what all your hats
So
are?
my,
You keep talking
so
about
my
all
many
the-
hats, if you don't know, I work for BSC during the daytime. That's the daytime job. My other hat, in addition to the coffee shop, is being a city commissioner in Mandan. So I also like to promote Mandan. But there are so many great things going on. We've got a study going on how to look at downtown and what ways we can revitalize it. And there might even, if any of those plans get off the ground, there would be a great opportunity to support a walk-up window.
Yes. And so and if you aren't able to do the drive up, that helps you then take that vehicular component out of the equation. Second thing, if you do expand, have you considered, instead of marketing so much to high school kids or for that type of part-time work, recent retirees? Because
we have both.
Yep.
So
we do. We have our one employee, Linda, is really awesome. She was working every Wednesday for a long time, wanted to step back this summer, and she's actually retired from working at Mandan High School. And so we have her, and then Brianna, who I graduated with, and then one high school student who works weekends. So we kind of have the gambit. But yes, I would absolutely love a recent retiree who would be interested. I would love it. If we expanded, that would be awesome. My mom, who's 74, said that if she could do it, she would.
Right.
And
in our
we're not
shop, we
opposed to
get
that at all.
hectic every so often, but it's not going to
Yeah.
be the environment of Starbucks where you got 6 people running in circles, tripping
Right.
over each other.
Right.
There's a lot of opportunity to interact with the customers as they come in and get to know our clientele. We're not just say hand over your $30 for your cup of coffee and here's your food and leave.
It is not 30.
So because we've seen in recent years, people retiring early, so they're not at that traditional retirement age. They're a little bit younger, so they may be looking to get back in, or just not back in, but to do something that gets them away from their home life for a while.
Yep, absolutely.
Now with
I
a
mean,
dab at Starbucks.
shh.
I don't think anyone who works at Starbucks is here. That's fine. All right. So, Trish, something that you didn't bring up in your presentation was that you actually rent out your space for private events. I had a friend that had their bridal shower there, and you helped decorate it. So, can you talk a little bit about that aspect too?
Absolutely. We currently have a sobriety group that actually meets from 6:30 to 7:30 on Sunday evenings. Most Sundays. There are sometimes like where I'm sick or he's sick, the facilitator. And then, we did a bridal shower, and it was so much fun. I nerded out a little bit because it was Alice in Wonderland tea party themed, which is, I love Alice in
There was
Wonderland.
paper mache mushrooms all over our house.
I was there. It was my friend's bridal shower, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. And then I also have the asset of decor because my sister is a wedding event decorator. I can just be like, hey, I need 4 tablecloths and that big candelabra thing. And she'll be like, okay, come get it. So, we have the ability to rent out for book clubs, church groups, bridal showers, baby showers, anything you could really think of. And because we close at 3 p.m., it's kind of perfect. You could start your event at 4 and just go till whenever, or start your event at 6, go to 8, doesn't matter. We're really flexible with that, so.
Awesome. We have another question.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you for sharing such a personal part of your story.
Thanks.
Mental health is something that has been in my family. My mom has owned a business in this town for almost 40 years. She was one of the ladies who was painted in the mural that used to hang in Cappuccino on Collins because her and Joe were friends. And you might not remember me, but you went to high school and elementary school with my sister.
I can't see.
Savannah.
Oh, yes. Yep.
So I just want to thank you because you have come a long way and you are a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
I don't think a lot of people give us enough credit, those of us who didn't choose the traditional college or who picked an alternative way to learn.
Right.
I have now launched my 4th business using social media, and I too am not good at being in a traditional classroom. So my 2 questions for you are, when can I come to your shop and have a pop-up shop? Because that was my next question, until I get my own storefront. And how do you balance your mental health with the pulls and needs and demands of all of those platforms? As you incorporate TikTok, as you incorporate all that, how do you set your boundaries to make sure that you don't get sucked into all of the demands to not be the Starbucks, to not be the big name, and continue to be who and what you are?
I think, and Joe and I actually had this conversation the other night, there is one particular person that I have slipped into the habit of comparing myself to. And I have to remember that I am just me, and it is what it is. That's been my mantra since we bought the shop, was it is what it is, and there's nothing else I can do about it. And having that mentality and letting go of that is just freeing. Like, I can only be me. It's one day at a time. I'm doing the best that I can with what I have, and that's obviously been good enough because people keep coming into the shop. So that aspect of it is just a lot of self-talk. I have gone through many counselors in the past and group mental health groups and things like that because I have always wanted to fix it. And so even if I can't fix it, I have all of these tools in my toolbox to be able to make myself that better person. It wasn't easy. It still isn't easy. I mean, I was up last night with knots in my stomach because of trying to compare myself to somebody else again. And I was like, why am I doing this? And so it is a constant struggle, but having that reminder of I'm in Mandan and I have this legacy business that has been around for almost 30 years. And that other person doesn't have that, and they had to start from scratch. I kind of have a leg up. So I have to kind of remember that. And it's just constant reminder. Joe's also been really instrumental in that, and being like, get off Facebook. And so
I used to check Facebook only once a month. Now, occupational hazard, it's a little more than that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's honestly just self-talk every single day, telling myself that what I'm doing is enough. And if it isn't, that's not my fault.
And there are times we have to tell each other to suck it up and go. There are just some things we have to do. But if there's something that we can trade off, like yesterday, I'm sitting trying to write lesson plans for class tonight that I teach at BSC. And so I was like, can you do the till for me?
Yeah. Yeah. So we were sitting on our bed last night. I was counting the till. He was doing his lesson plan. And that was our date night for the month. So, well, I just dubbed it a date night to say that we finally had one this month. But that's just real life. I mean, we got our son to bed, and then, I mean, usually I go to bed when our son goes to bed at like 8:30, because I got to be up at 6. But some nights I'm up too late, but last night was good. And that's just real life, and it's where we're at right now, so.
Awesome. We have Tyler, and this is probably our second to last question. So if you have something that you're sitting on, second to last question.
Come visit us.
So we'll have time for one more after Tyler.
Right, well, I'll just second Steph's comments that thank you for having the courage and to be vulnerable on stage and talk about your experience and your journey leading up to this. Also appreciate what you said about kids and kids coming out of high school assuming that a college degree is the next step in their journey. As a dad to a 19-year-old, 16-year-old, we have those conversations a lot about the cost and benefits of a college degree. But some education, some development does have to happen, right? So I'm curious, what resources in Bismarck and Mandan did you connect with, or were there, do you have mentors on this journey, or I'm sure you just kind of dove in and learned on the fly, but I'm wondering what outside the shop, where outside the shop did you do the most learning?
I tend to go to women business owners because, and no offense to men, but as women, we've had an extra challenge when it comes to owning a business because we're not seen as good enough, or we're too emotional, or we're too this, too that. But these women that have like had successful businesses for years are my assets. They're the ones that I go to. Stacy Sturm, I talk to Hannah at Dialectic Brewing. I talk to Shelly Saylor with Nodakian Studios. I talk to Nicole Gagner, who is an artist, and just kind of, if you want to learn how to do something, ask the person who's done it before you. And no book is gonna tell you how to do stuff. The person who experienced it is gonna give you better advice, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I've gone for, and then I just kind of relay it back to Joe, be like, hey, this is what this person did, we should try it.
And then if there's something that we need a bigger network, not better, but a bigger network on to get some feedback, then I usually harass Ross. Ross, I think, is on, oh, there he is. I can't see with the lights.
He's very tall, he's hard to miss.
Look for the tall guy. You know, I've asked Ross, hey, where are some of the client or the chamber members getting milk from, or where are they getting some supplies from? And Ross has always been Johnny on the spot with information. He can get me an answer really quick. So the chamber has been a great resource for us as well. So we're very happy to be members of the chamber.
I won't tell Nathan that you didn't say chamber EDC. It's our secret.
Well,
Chamber
I like to
EDC, there, I said
I like
it's
to,
our secret.
I like to give Nathan, and I like to poke him. So. Yeah, it's Nathan.
It's
He's
so
a good
easy.
sport.
Well, he's such an easy target, too.
I know.
Anyone else?
You're still
Or did
holding
you
the
have
mug.
another
Do you
one?
have another question,
No,
or are you just
if you'd
hanging
like,
out?
I can ask the last question if that's
Well,
where we're at.
if no one else has a question, I actually had one before
okay.
the last question, so hang on. How has this changed your guys' relationship? Because it's one thing to be married and then to have a loss and then a child, and now you have a coffee shop. So how has this changed? How has this been hard? How has this helped you grow together? I'm very curious about that.
You want to take a stab in the dark on that one? How much time do we have? We have about.
Well, actually, it's 10
We
now.
I was gonna say it's 10 o'clock, so it's time to wrap up.
So no time, and I probably shouldn't have asked,
We
but I
have to
needed
be creative.
We haven't had to invest in marriage counseling yet, so that's a positive.
It requires us to talk.
Is that a tax write-off if you're a married couple who owns a business, counseling?
Any bankers? Any?
It should be a write-off.
Yeah.
It should be a write-off.
It should be a write-off. It requires us to talk. It requires us to be creative. Is there a bit of bickering? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we've always done that.
But that's always been the nature of our relationship, is we've always been able to be pretty blunt with each other, and then get mad, walk away for 5 minutes, come back and say, okay, what do we need to do to move forward? So we've always had, I think that foundation of that relationship has really been the key of moving forward, because we are so busy.
Awesome, incredible. Well, before we ask the last question, I just want to thank you again for your coffee, your sponsorship, and your courage in coming on the stage and sharing both your stories, because I think it's just a really good one. Ross, do you have the question memorized, or should I?
I'm good.
All right, I'll do this. So we do have our final question, and Ross will do the honors.
So again, thank you guys very much for presenting. And what can we, as the 1 Million Cups community, do to help you guys succeed?
Come to the shop and buy coffee. Hang out, have your business meetings there. It's a really quiet space between probably 9 to 11 in the morning. It's really quiet. I'm usually there working on my laptop or crocheting or creating stuff for the shop. I might use you as a guinea pig for new drinks, so that's a perk.
You never know when you're going to get a cup handed to you to try. If you're in a business and you're looking for a place to meet with clients, we're a good location for that. We have a lot of people that do that. And then we're always looking for businesses that want to bring coffee in for their staff, whether it's barista boxes or something that we should come to your location.
Awesome, incredible. Well, let's give them a great round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
Awesome. All right, thank you. And we'll have one more slide, so you can stay on stage, you can get off stage. You'll have to make a decision.
Have a seat.
Oh, fine.
I'm just standing up so I can read.
Oh,
sorry. So we do have some other incredible presenters coming up. So take note, we have Sun Bakes coming up next week, and then we'll have Big Dog Tiki Bar, which is a local rum bar, which is very cool, and then Main Street Summit. So this is what's coming up. Please come drink cappuccino on Collins coffee. Bring your friends, bring your mom. Bring your boss, I don't care. Just make sure to come and keep supporting the entrepreneurs who are brave enough to get on stage. And with that, if you know someone who will be brave enough to get on stage, or if you're brave enough to get on stage and you haven't yet, please go to 1millioncups.com/bizman and apply to present. We'd love to have you. And I promise I'm not always the MC, so you could get someone else up here to help you tell your story. And with that, you can get off stage, Trish. Let's give them one last round of applause.